Hi there, this is Life Prepper here, and this is thumbs up to these lady preppers here. I joined this group on Facebook called Women Preppers. And so I asked them, so why did you become a prepper? So here's some response, and one's from Miss Rebecca here. It's always been a way of life for me. I grew up on a farm where we raised and preserved most of the food we ate. So it just seemed like a good idea. That's right. Thumbs up. I've been through a couple of ice storms where I was very glad I did. So that's why she became a prepper. The fact is, our family before us was prepared all the time. They canned their own food and put food up and stuff. Did what they had to do to survive. This prepper label only happened over the last several years or so. And it gets a bad name sometimes. But the fact is, this here is a very highly intelligent lady saying why she does it. Thumbs up, Rebecca. Another one is Keisha, Kesa. I hope I pronounced it right. Having a child with special needs opened my eyes to how we were to losing her if we ever cut off from her resources. I now keep at least 3 months of supplies for her as well as other things. Now, thumbs up to her too. The fact is that you need to think about things like in a family event. If you got a person of special needs, whether it's physical, mental, whatever it is, even yourself, if you got health issues, you need to think about what you're going to do in a alternative situation from medical supplies and other, and then also studying about herbs and different plants that can help also in medical situations as well. Thumbs up to her too. Now, Priscilla says learn more and may be able to help others. Other information I have learned over the years. So for her, it's about learning. It's about sharing her knowledge and being part of something just in case something ever happens. And there is SHTF situations every day of our lives are going on around the world. We lose our jobs. We lose our family members. We get sick. Mother Nature is just in a bad mood and tears everything up. Man-made stuff tears things up and causes problems. So being prepared, there's nothing wrong with it. Now, Dolores, I hope I pronounced her name right. She says, my husband grew up in post-war Germany, so this way of life is natural for him. I learned from him, and I am confident knowing I would not be devastated should disaster occur. I also hate giving my money to big corporations. You hear that? Corporations. Ain't that something? But the fact is, doing it herself, she knows where the food's coming from. She knows she's preparing it. She's not necessarily running down to the store and getting every little thing there is. She knows where it's coming from, and it's there when they need it. So that's what it is. Now, Doris says, my parents grew up in the Depression, had no food, no jobs to be had. So she learned from them. Thumbs up, Doris. Brenda says, I grew up in a house where my mother canned a few items. My parents also bought beef and pork in bulk. My father was laid off every winter because his job was weather dependent. So my mother would purchase all the non-perishable items to last the winter. Currently, my husband and I live out in the country where the clearing roads are low priority, and most back roads are. I can and freeze a massive amount of foods. Also, all meat is bought in bulk due to the fact that we believe buying local is the best quality meat. We are in jobs that are very secure. The pantry and the freezers are full. That's truly secure. So they're just preparing just in case. They don't, even though they got good paying jobs, she's still preparing because she says tomorrow, because she knows tomorrow something could happen. The weather could keep them from coming out at days. A fire could go off, and they still got food stocked up on. So they're just preparing. I can't pronounce her name. It's Soranya. Sorana. So soil, the economy, and Mother Nature are so unpredictable. That's why she does it. Now, Carla, it was bound to happen sooner or later. Lord, a tornado was headed straight for my apartment. I'm not afraid to die, but I couldn't figure out how I was going to make coffee the next morning. Plus, I was in a few patriots groups, and they kind of helped. So that kind of changed her attitude even more because, like, what am I going to do? And that was an eye opening for her. The storms that came. Um, Shauna, is because knowing that emergencies always happen and being unprepared for any more unexpected events scares me. Being prepared for positive emergencies makes me feel more empowered and more in control of my life. We also have felt that between the economy and other events in the country and worldwide, that we are fish in a pot of water over a fire. We are very close to the boiling point. So that's why they start doing that. You don't never know. Uh, Garland read back to bases when I was 10 years old. Um, that was where my start was. I got chickens and started growing a garden. Learned how to bake. All my crafts and skills have helped me over the years. As a single parent of 5 after a divorce, I am blessed. I am always reading and learning new skills. Thumbs up to her. That's important to learn all that stuff. And you're reading everything that's going on in the world. I probably pronounced it. Deb grew up that way in northern Minnesota. No electricity or indoor plumbing, so you was always prepped in case you were snowed in. So she grew up like that. Now the thing is, and then they go on, and there's more and more and more here. Dominique here, you never know what might happen. Lost a job, world go to poop more than or so. Then now, natural disasters, etc. We have seen how helpful the government is when disasters strike. Katrina was a perfect example. We don't expect help if anything happens. Having kids, we want to make sure everyone is protected in any case. Oh, and Judy here is low. Seeing some of us were preppers even before that was a name for it. I grew up doing what we do now. Ain't that something? That's what I said. This has been going on since the beginning of time. Now, once people are like, preppers is a bad word. Shh. That person over there's a prepper. These are crazy. We're not. Well, let me take it back. Most of us are not. Melissa said she started hearing about the economy being kind of screwed up. And then she got worried about her kids and the safety, so she decided that things need to change. So I make sure that I have months and months worth. Might not be steak and taters, but it's nutritious and it will fill the hole. Gwen, she was a scream couponer back in the 80s and saved tons of money just as a natural process. And she still saves money, but also gardens and cans. It's a lifestyle, not prepping. So it is a lifestyle. Prepping is a lifestyle. Now it depends on how scream you can get, and you got to remember there's these companies and stuff. Their sole purpose is to get you to go buy stuff you don't even need. Brandy, of course, says it sounds silly, but I read a lot of post-apocalyptic fiction, zombie virus, EMP wars, and it really made me stop and think. And I guess that's something too with me. I watch a lot of science fiction movies, a lot of horror movies, and I do the same she does. But it does make you think. I mean, to sit back and say, well, that could happen. So that's what made her think about it. That I better. Since my husband has a great job, but his company works on government contracts, which can end with a zero notice. So they don't never know. Even though he's got a good job, tomorrow he might not have a job, so they're going to have to count on what they've got prepared. And Ruth here, she was raised on a farm, so she used to be prepared. And then after one of the scares, she said it scared her. She was very frugal and it scared her, and then she started doing more of it. So Carol, she grew up during the lean economy times. But on and on and on, you hear more and more on this. Uh, but why these women started prepping? And these are all wonderful, wonderful, great women. I want you to check out that women's prepper site on here. So the fact is, you're not alone if you're thinking about prepping. And being a prepper is just a label. That's all it is. Our grandparents, great parents on back, they did it all their lives. So what has happened as society has changed, more and more people off the farms. more and more people living in apartments or houses or living in town or whatever because of the jobs and things. So a lot of people's getting away from what they was raised on, and society has designed us to get used to running down to the store and getting the things we need. But these ladies and this group here has probably got over 1,000 members in this group. Um, all have still the thing in common, and that is to take care of their family. So they're thinking about, well, I've got to make sure they got their medicines. I got to make sure they're fed, and kept warm and all that. Where the man's role, of course, is protection and things like that. Now, get me wrong, there's many great male preppers out there, but everybody's different. Several of the women preppers talk about always being prepared in case other people need something else. So that's what we always tend to think about a lot of times. I tell people when I prep for one meal, I'm considering prepping two. So, my supplies are getting a little low right now because I had to go through some, but not that I'm not without, I've got supplies. And I will eventually get more supplies when the time is right. I'm not going to starve, because one thing is learning about nature helps me survive. I will lose a lot of weight on some of it, but a lot of it I won't. So, Women's Preppers on Facebook, check it out. Go to it. There's a lot of great ladies on there that I've talked to and have posted things. And they're just some of the remarks. And I just want if you're thinking about prepping, go to that Women Prepper site, sign up, talk to some of these ladies and stuff. And then if that's what you think you want to do, if you want to kind of approach your route a little bit different for whatever reason, whether maybe it's due to health issues or due to where you're living at, due to Mother Nature, or due to man-made situations, or just the fact is that job situations or whatever the reason is, it can be a combination of all of it. So check into it. This life prepper here, I want you to be safe, be happy. Bless you all.